Let's talk about a situation that catches a lot of people off guard, and that's when you receive a check made out to more than just one person. When a check has multiple names on it, the little word connecting those names, it could be the word and, the word or even sometimes it's just a comma. And it matters more than you think. It affects who has to sign the check, who can deposit the check, and how the funds can be assessed. Let's break it down so you know exactly what to do if you ever face this situation. So let's bring our attention to the word and I got a nice drawn out check. Don't judge the artwork. But if a check is made out to, let's say, John and Jane Doe like above, both people listed must endorse the check. And what that means is that both signatures are required on the back of the check before the bank will accept it for either cashing it or depositing it. This usually means that you both must be present at the bank at that time, and the account you deposited into in most cases must be jointly owned by both of the individuals. Sometimes you could sign it over and the other person could just present their ID and that they're good with it. But this format signals to the bank that both people must agree on what happens to the money. So it's one of the strictest options of the two. So watch out for checks made out to and. Now, or if the check is made out to or, like John or Jane Doe, only one of the two parties has to sign, and this means that either person can deposit the check or cash it into their own individual or joint owned account, but only one signature is required. This is more of a flexible option of the two. It implies that either party has the authority to handle the funds without the other's means necessary. Now, checks made out to a comma, this one's a little bit more iffy because it's tricky. A comma alone doesn't give clear legal instruction. Different banks may interpret this differently. Some treat it like an and, meaning both must sign, and others might be more flexible, especially if both names are on the account. Because there's no one size fits all with this one, no uniform standard for how a comma is treated. Always check with your bank, so when in doubt, get both signatures just to be safe. A lot of banks will treat the comma like or though. So sometimes you could get away with it, sometimes not. But if you and the other person have different last names, bring an ID. Banks will want to verify both identities before doing anything with the check. And if one of the payees can't be present, consider having them sign in advance and write a note authorizing you to deposit it or cash it. Good luck though. Most banks are going to get super sketched out. Like, I don't care what's on this paper. I need that other person here and I need to see their ID. For mobile deposits, most banks will still require signatures for an and check, even if the check is being deposited remotely, because you don't want this check shooting back because the other bank blocked it because it wasn't endorsed properly. That's kind of where endorsements come in clutch, because these banks are watching their money. They're trying to protect the money, so they want to make sure everything's good and steady before they pay out a check to the other bank or to the other party. So why does this matter? Well, depositing a check incorrectly can delay your access to funds or get the deposit rejected altogether, like I was just saying. If you're depending on that money to pay bills or anything else, it can create unnecessary stress that just doesn't need to happen. So understanding what those little words in between, what they mean, gives you clarity, prevents issues at the teller window, and helps you make smarter money moves. When you know what to look out for, you can endorse your checks with confidence.